Jason, tell us about the one-man show and where it's going to be, because I love this that you're doing this.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't know I was going to talk about this. That's cool. I actually was asked to bring it back because candidly, I barely ever get to do it anymore. I'm so busy as a keynote speaker, still inserting the music impressions here and there, but now I had an old friend reach out and say, "Hey, we'd like for you to come to our theater, which is in Utah, and we'd like for you to do a 2-week run of a show where you're going to do your tribute artists, and we would love for you to just do that." And I said, "Well, I don't do that really anymore." They said, "What if you had a 5 or 6 man band? And what if you had production and lights and a built-in audience that was ready to come see you?" And they said, we're pretty much guarantee that you'll sell out all the shows. I mean, it was pretty
Wow.
much crazy because they said, "We have an audience that wants this." And so, Jane, we launched this just a couple weeks back, and it will be in the end of July through the beginning of August of 2024. And yeah, the show is almost sold out with the first 10 shows. And we're just
Wow.
working with the band right now. But it's called A Musical Tribute to Elton John and Billy Joel and Friends with Jason Hewlett. And so
Oh, man.
I'll be doing a full set of Elton John music, a full set of Billy Joel music, and then mixing in some of my favorite pieces, such as the Louis Armstrong and the Bee Gees and Alvin and the Chipmunks. Christmas, Christmas time is near, time for toys and time for tea. And so it'll be a fun thing to be able to tell some stories, to do those musical tributes with a live band. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. And it's
Let me tell you, that is hotter than a firecracker. And I just, in my heart of hearts, I believe you could take this across the country. I really do. And because I think, just like the theater show I tried with my friend, we couldn't believe how many groups that age just want something fun and clean. And it's a perfect time of year because the older crowd, and I'll just go ahead and say it's a senior crowd, they love to be entertained, have a little bite to eat, and get back home before it's dark.
no
And
question.
that is perfect. And that's what we did. We had a lot of churches. And I love that crowd, and they loved just the laughter, the music. And that's what I feel so blessed as you are, to be able to be entertaining. And then, sometimes I'll throw something out if it's straight comedy or music. I love that too. But in fact, I'm doing that next week to a bunch of pastors. It's a pastor appreciation evening. And I know exactly what they want. I'm in depth with my questionnaire about what to do. And you do the same thing. But Jason, you get the right promoter, that thing could go all over the country. Again, if you wanted to take it, I know it's nice to have, I would say, local. Is this theater local?
Yeah, you know what? I've actually been on the board of this theater for 15 years.
Wow.
And it's probably one of the most celebrated theaters in the round in the entire world. So it's like an old time Shakespearean theater with everybody sits in seats in the round in the 1,000-seat theater. And then they have huge productions like Beauty and the Beast or Les Miserables and these types of beautiful shows. And they win awards every year all over the world. And then they have a little 450-seat theater. That's a normal proscenium theater with the stage in front and the audience right in front of you. And that's where I'll be because
Oh, that's perfect.
the people that run it contacted me and said, and we are dear friends. And they just said, "Look, we've been trying for 23 years to figure out when we could get Jason Hewlett in here."
Wow.
They actually had been percolating on the thought because I had done a show when I first began my career in 2000. I had done one at their small black box theater, at their old theater, where they sat about 50 people. And I did it, my one-man show creation at that point. And they said, "Someday we'll do your show at the theater." And Jane, 23 years later, they called. Isn't that crazy?
Incredible. I love that. You know what? It's just a whole different genre. I know it's a little nerve-wracking because Kelly Swanson does this, and you have to sell tickets. That's the
Yeah.
thing, that, but you've got this built-in crowd that knows you, loves you. I tell you, this could be across the country if you wanted it to. But people would flock to that. I would, if anybody's in Jason's area, where is exactly the theater located?
It's actually called the Hale Center Theater, Hale, Hale Center Theater, and it's in Sandy, Utah, which is about 10 miles south of Salt Lake City. And so the tickets surprisingly are like $58 or $59, and it's almost sold out. I'm really stunned at the response. And so we'll see how it ends up, Jane. They may even ask me to do double shows per day. It's selling so fast. I'll just have to then figure out if physically I can pull that off, because obviously I'll be on stage for about 2 hours for the show anyway. But it'll be pretty wild and fun, and I'm thrilled that they would have me after all these years and even trust me, because the the people who put it together, they're friends of mine from when I was in high school, and their grandson will be in my band. Like
Oh my
that's
goodness.
how full circle family style this is. And the son, who actually is my best friend, his name is Quinn Dietline. Quinn is the director of the show. So
Wow.
he's the one that, along with my music teacher in high school, he's the one that discovered I could sing. So this
Hey,
is a major full circle moment that his family would say, "Come back and do the show here," and we think that we could sell it. And because, Jane, I retired from doing public shows on a consistent basis back in 2011
I
when my
did not know that.
youngest son was born, and
Hmm.
his name is Royal. He just turned 12 the other day, and I retired from doing public shows because I was starting to get a little bit too busy doing public shows.
I understand.
So I went on the road and charged more as a convention performer and speaker, and then I kind of faded off into the anonymity. But it's interesting to step back into it when the time comes and when the opportunity arises.